Alrighty, today we're gonna upgrade my studio desk. This is my studio desk. I'll show you a picture. The studio desk is something I use I'm starting to use it for editing videos, but I'm really using it for making music. I like to sing, got some velvety pipes, and I like to make a lot of music. So we're gonna spiff it up a little bit. They're gonna tear that surface off, and we're gonna put on some of that gorgeous red oak that I have lying around. You'll see here I'm grabbing the lumber from the living room. That's not normally where I store all my lumber. That wood was acclimating in the living room because that's a little hardwood flooring trick for you. Take the lumber, put it in the space where it's gonna live forever, then it will stretch and do whatever it's gonna do in that environment. Okay, this is currently just about a little under 7 feet. The existing table upstairs is only 5 foot wide. It's always kind of bugged me. It's a little too short. My speakers are a little too crowded in. I need them a little bit further out. I can't use all 7 feet because if you look over here, this has got a weird cup. And that was from the bandsaw initially when they were milling it. It hit resistance. I think ice on the end, because that was the very end of the log, and the bandsaw warped when it was going through. So I was hoping I could salvage it. I can't really. That's okay. If I cut that off, I still get 6 feet. That puts me just enough that I think 6 feet is gonna work well with the speakers. That's probably the minimum I would want the desk to be, but I'm still happy with that, and it's gonna look much better than having that weird little whoop-de, whatever the heck that is right there. I decided to go with a combination of the grinder to remove most of the bark and punky wood and then go back over it with the sander. And you'll see here I had to be very careful with the grinder because if I pressed too hard, I left these massive lines, and I had to be really light-handed and feather with the grinder and then go back over with the sander. I still think that was the best combination. Grinder lightly and then the sander. It was a ton of dust though. Should have done it outside, definitely. After I got the edges done, I moved on to the top, getting rid of all those router lines that my flattening jig made. I used 120 grit on the belt sander, and then I chased after that with the orbital sander, getting it out with another 120 grit, and then I stepped up to 220 to finish. I felt that this combination of using the belt sander to run all of those router lines out and then chasing that with the palm sander worked the best. The only thing is with the belt sander, it will leave scratches that you can see in anything that's not straight grain. I chose this side of the slab to be the upper shelf because of this cool coloration that's in the live edge of the slab. It's almost like it was starting to rot, but it's still solid wood and it looks amazing. So that's the upper shelf. Good morning. So this is the next day after 2 coats of spar varnish. I think I'm gonna add one more coat to it because if you look close, and I'll show you here, it's still got a little bit of pitting. And my assumption is because this is really porous. And I'm guessing maybe a third coat will cover up those and give it that finished glass look. I think 3 coats is the sweet spot. That's as much as I'm willing to do anyway, so 3 coats it is, but it looks good. Sanding in between each coat with 220. 3 coats ended up being the magic number. It looked like glass and very smooth to the touch. There's a couple of blemishes. I forgot this little burn mark, and I forgot this burn mark. You can see the saw blade, which is unfortunate. The next thing I had to do was drill holes in the slabs for the little handles that allow this table to move up and down. So I just used the old pieces as templates and then drilled them out and installed them. Worked slick. I decided to take the top bracket and drill some new holes so that I could pull it forward more, just a little bit over the lower table. I think it gives it a little bit better aesthetic. Hey! Okay, I've got this sucker all done, but let's talk about it because I think this would be a good project for you guys for your first sort of slab build. I've got a bunch of slab builds now, and I've got a couple more to go. You can dive down the rabbit hole pretty deep on different styles, but this is a great beginner style. And I say that because the base was done, and that's half the work. So if you buy your base on Amazon, usually somewhere between $100 to $300, depending on what you buy, then all you have to do is worry about the slab. Now, I say this slab is great for beginners because I did nothing extra on this slab, and it still looks amazing. All the little wood figuring, there's all this crazy figuring in this thing, and it just looks gorgeous. And the spar varnish, I don't know, it really like highlights everything that's beautiful about it. If I was to do this again, I would probably go through the epoxy process to be able to get all these checks and cracks filled, and then have a perfectly glass smooth surface. But a different video. Maybe we'll do that down the line if I get bored. For you, if you were gonna do a slab project, I would say all you really need is a saw, a drill for mounting, and a sander of some type. And that's it. You're gonna buy the base. I'm just thinking through in my head. Yeah, that's it. That's all you would need. Cut it to size, sand it down. You can buy slabs, and I just found out this recently from a friend of mine who bought a slab, and for an extra charge, I forget how much, I think it was like $50, they would throw it in the flattener for him. And I think it was just like a big sander. And they sort of planed it for him before they gave it to him. So if you were gonna get into this, I'd say it probably cost you a couple $100. And this would be a great first time project for you. All right, it's been good to see you. I hope you had fun. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.